Welcome to the Candid Conversation Show. I'm your host, Marilyn Fontaine, artist and creative coach for women who want success and income with ease. Hi, welcome to the Candid Conversations. This is episode 6, and this is Marilyn. This week, we're going to talk about the power of flowers. And I attended over the weekend online the Sacred Vibes Apothecary, or Apothecary, has the pronunciation. They had a Roots of Protection seminar for the weekend, and it was all around and classes. So it was Sacred Vibes. They're a herbal company, and Karen Rose, I think her name is Karen Rose. Yeah, she runs a herbal apprenticeship, and she also provides amazing amazing herbal elixirs, tinctures, herbs. She has a book, and so her apprentices gave some workshops on herb healing and health, and she also had speakers from the spiritual, botanical, African spirituality background. So they was talking about their practices on using herbs and rituals for protection and for well-being. And so it was really, really an amazing weekend. For me, as a qualified aromatherapist, it just brought back all my learning back. And also, what I find with herbs and flowers is that when I work with them, it just lights my whole body up. I just get tingly. And so when I coach, I often recommend my clients herbs or oils that they can use to enhance their coaching experience with me. And one of the components of my coaching program is fabulous focusing, where we use essential oils to enhance your focus and again helping you with confidence. So you don't just get coaching with me, you get to know about what oils will help you during any point of your time. So I may advise that in having a bath with essential oils, or maybe making up an oil using it in a burner when you do your activities or your work, because they helped me during work. They helped me boost my confidence. They helped me when I used to teach and I needed the energy to go in to the classroom and be clear-headed. When I had difficult students or difficult work colleagues, essential oils helped me. So what I want to talk about is how plants can help you, and also the whole thing about community again. I mean, I spoke about that last week, and when I think about being part of a community garden and how much that enriches my life, being around plants and watching my plants and my vegetables grow, it really enables me to be more dynamic with my business, and it gives me that energy. And it also, as a woman over 50, it also gives me that support I need. And so, for me, working with plants and herbs and flowers just connects me to my feminine energy, and it just makes me feel alive, and it gives me some sort of pleasure. And I find my senses are more heightened when I'm around flowers and herbs and plants as well. So in terms of sensuality, actually working with the earth and with nature or with flowers makes me feel sensual. Now, this is not for everybody, so you don't have to be part of a community garden or be creating herbs to feel sensual. But what you can do is buy yourself flowers on a Friday, which is Venus or Shun Day, which is a day of self-love for women. Some societies see Oshun Day as a Saturday, but I like to tie it in on a Friday because it just feels right. You know, especially when I used to work in a job, or even now in my business, I don't work weekends, so Friday is like my cut-off, let's celebrate. And as of late, I haven't been buying myself as much flowers as I need to. Normally I'll get cuttings from the garden, but I need to be doing that. So that's a practice to bring in feminine essence into your life, is to buy more flowers, is to buy scent. Now, if you don't want traditional perfumes, you can go to like the herbal shops, and they may have some body sprays, or you can buy an essential oil that you like. Just make sure you mix it with a carrier oil. You know, you could put in your favorite lotion, because not everybody wants to wear perfume. But having a scent that you really enjoy is a really lovely connection with you and flowers and plants. Again, some people are not plant people, but again, they may love flowers. And so flowers in terms of your stationery, your bedding, your china, bringing that into your space will really help. It sounds really simple, but there's a method to this madness. One thing I really loved during this seminar as well was that they spoke about looking at plants and looking at what they do, and they have a doctrine of signatures in herbalism and homeopathy. And when you look at certain plants, you look at what they're good for. Even like vegetables they have. I mean, when you look at kidney beans, they say that's meant to be really good for the kidneys. Disclaimer, this is not replacing medical advice. When you look at certain things for the heart, they are heart-shaped. So like beetroot, like red, like blood colour. So certain things mimic. And so because this conference was about protection, one thing that really stood out for me is when they spoke about the rose. And they spoke about the rose, and they said about boundaries and rose's protection, because rose rose is beautiful, so it blossoms out. So we come out from life, and we're out looking. We may finish a relationship, or we may have been recovered from a difficult period in our life. So we're out, we're blossoming like a rose. But if we're too out, people will be running towards us, and then we have no protection, no boundaries. And so what rose does, it has thorns on it. So not everybody can pick a rose. Not everybody can pick a rose. And so what we find is that rose has got its natural protection. And so it's really good for people who feel that they can't, they want to open their heart to be in relationship again, or friendships, but they don't have the necessary boundaries. And so working with rose essential oil is really beautiful. Or you can work with it as a flower essence. But again, if that's not your cup of tea, doesn't feel good to you, then you can buy roses for yourself. It has a symbolic gesture, has to bring in that energy back into yourself, and a reminder that actually I need to be more protective, more boundaries, or not so much as boundaries as Empress Karen said, but have protection within yourself. And your protection is maybe your discernment of what's going on, how you find yourself to be around people. So it's just really important to kind of know about um, the flowers and what they do for you. Yeah. And so for me, I think that working with flower essences and oils and herbs are really good. Another thing you can use is teas. I love my teas, as you know. So herbal teas, you can get rose petals or you can buy them ready-made in a tea bag. I like to buy my rose petals from either Brixton Whole Foods, where you measure them yourself, or you can get them from Neal's Yard, Baldwin's, or you can just get the pucker teas, which have, they've got rose tea and love tea. But I actually like to make up my own. It's such a beautiful, or just putting them in the metal, the tea strainer thing that you get from Neal's Yard. But, your local, you can look online as well on Amazon, or independent shops would be actually ideal. But so I will go for a few that I think is really wonderful to use for those of you that want to, the common problems that people may have. So I'm going to look at 5 common points, 5 common herbs or teas that you can use for 5 common conditions. So for self-love and recovering from a breakup or any amount of grief, definitely rose tea, roses, rose essential oil, any of those rose functions, any of those ways that you can use rose. My mind's gone blank. So very good. Also, rose is also good if you're going through menopause and you don't feel that you've got that tenderness in your life. It's all kind of crazy. Rose will bring you back to that place. So rose, definitely. Grief. If you're going for grief, and it could be empty nest syndrome, it could be grief for someone passing, it could be you've retired, it could be grief of a friendship, grief of leaving college and going into work, that is possible. So I would say a rose is very good, but you've also got valerian tea is really good for grief, like really bad grief. If you've got strong grief, valerian tea, lemon balm. So lemon balm, I grow it in my garden. And it grows abundantly in places, but lemon balm tea will lift your spirit. It's very good for depression, but I remember when my brother-in-law passed, I couldn't get out of this funk, and I went to Neal's Yard and they said lemon balm would just move the spirit. It would just move your spirit for a better place. So lemon balm is really good for grief, but valerian is that shock, that somebody's just passed or something has just happened. Valerian is really good. Lemon balm has an essential oil. Frankincense is really good because it helps you breathe deeply and fully. Again, rose, I would say, is really good. The third, for energy and feeling really drained, again, you can use rosemary, but if you've got epilepsy, you can't have it. But rosemary in a tea and rosemary in a bath is really good in your food. It's also a very good protector as well. Helps you with your boundaries, but in terms of energy, respiration, rosemary, I would say, we'll just go with that one. In terms of energy, geranium is good for mental energy, and also lemongrass. But geranium you can put in a bath. Lemongrass I would burn, or I would dilute it because it can really impact your skin. So it's a sensitizer. I can never pronounce things, you know this by now. So lemongrass, geranium, very good for mental exhaustion, whereas the rosemary is good for physical as well. Okay, so that's our physical stuff. For concentration, so any of the the high notes, So in terms of concentration, again, lemongrass, lemon, grapefruit. I do tend to use vetiver is a very low, very heavy, heady oil, but I find it slows me down because I've got ADHD, right? Or mild ADHD. So it slows me down. But I would definitely say lemongrass for concentration. If you're studying, you're doing exams, you really need to focus, you're writing a report, lemongrass. And lastly, to bring your sensuality, your libido, to feel sensual, lang lang. Lang lang, jasmine, and cedarwood, any of the woody, the heady kind of oils are very good. But lang lang, rose, cedarwood, geranium. Geranium works with the hormones, as well as lang lang works with de-stressing, but it's the most sensual oil that you can use. And those are the 5 conditions that you can, basic conditions I'm talking about. If you are into flower essence, then for focus is clematis. Embracing the now is honeysuckle. Learning from mistakes is chestnut. Walnut is a very good protection flower essence as well, that you can use, because it's because it's got shell. It's about protection. It's very much about keeping you safe. Yeah, it's really good to keeping you safe and making you feel that it helps you adapt to conditions as well. Okay, so it's really good. It's a good flower essence. Not everybody wants flower essence, but I think these plants and flowers are something we need, especially the times we're living in, and we're so far away from how we used to be. So it just helps you make changes in your life. So again, massive changes. So the toolkit I would recommend would be a walnut essence, rose essential oil. Rose is quite expensive, but I remember teaching in a class and a woman stood up and she said, I've had depression for 6 months and I paid £40 for like 5 mils of rose essential oil, and my depression has literally eased off. So I think I paid £20. The last bottle I paid wholesale, but I would pay that. It's worth it for what it does for you, and it's really good for your skin and rejuvenates your skin. So rose, and if you're strapped for cash, then you can get a rose in coconut, percentage of rose dilution in coconut oil, and that's something like £9-10, but it's worth it. So walnut, rosemary, rose essential oil, and if you can, frankincense, because it's cleansing and it will help you breathe, really good for asthma. Those are the ones I would tend to have. And it's frankincense is really good for spiritual purposes as well, helping you focus and meditate. So those are the first toolkit oils that you can use. I just wanted to give you something because I just feel like when people have got help of plants or flowers, that it does make life so much more better. Makes life so much more better. So I think it's really nice. And at the moment, I'm doing a challenge, a 5-day challenge. And by the time you hear this, we'll be in day 3, and depending when you pick this up. And today we're going to talk about pleasure, which is my favourite subject. And the past 2 days we've talked about changing your mindset and working through stress and trauma responses. Yesterday we spoke about energy, what drains your energy, what takes your energy. And it's been really amazing, the conversations, because all the women in the pop-up group are trailblazers, and they are, they're very good with self-care, but they're realising the simple practices that's been in their toolbox for years, they're not using them. And so it's really beautiful to be reminded, and this is why, for me, joining this weekend conference was so good, because it reminded me how much tools I had in my box, and it reinforced my learning, and also it gave me new learning. And one thing to fly agelessly, especially a woman in her 50s, is to continue to learn. Some of us are not built for that, but for a lot of us, we need to continue to learn, but we just have to give ourselves permission to say, I can do it. And I want to leave you with two things. Well, one, I'm going to do a Power of Flower reading for us. But one thing I want you to understand, and I'm going to leave you with a question, which I left to somebody in the group, when they was talking about they don't want to share their ideas because they feel that nobody would like their ideas. And this is one of the things that we don't do in our businesses when we don't want to show up. And that is, I always ask the question, what would happen if I just shared this for myself? What would happen if I just shared this piece of work for me? Because our brain will tell us what we need to know. Because when we're sharing stuff, yes, if you have a business and you have a product, you want to share it for people to respond. But I'm not speaking to those of you that have no problem sharing stuff for people to respond. But if you have a problem, then you are trying to people please, to try and be perfect. And people may like your stuff, they may not like your stuff. And therefore, it's what would happen if you just did it for yourself. And imagine using that with one of the essential oils. Imagine having a bath in rose or geranium, or, burning some lemongrass and being in that state of mind where your mind is clear, and then you post something for yourself. What would happen? So that's what I'd leave you with. So I'm going to do a Power Flower card from Aisha Lerner. Okay. And her website, I'll leave it in the chat for you so you can, she does online card readings of flowers and stuff. So I'll put it in the chat. You can buy them as well. So the card that we've got for this session, and I don't normally do a card reading, and it's not a tarot card reading, it's just a card, picking a card. But I thought it would be nice having this for this podcast. So, Saguru Cactus. Archetype, grandfather wisdom, timekeeper, elders, timekeepers who carry time within them. Understand the archetypal patterns of the sort found in crystals, plants, DNA structures, earth and star formations, light frequencies and sound. And there's a lot more other, but I'm going to look at the meaning because of time. Okay. The Sangaro cactus is a powerful healing presence. Its stature and dignity symbolizes the shift you are undergoing in relation to your own personal power. The masculine principle within your psyche is rebalancing at this time, and you'll find yourself able to receive grandfather's wisdom, sacred knowledge, which resides within your heart, just as it lives at the center of this proud, majestic plant. So I just gave you basic information about that. I'm not going to go too much into it, but I just wanted to give you a little taster of just something. And so the last part of it, of the reading, is a tremendous amount of life force is available to you now. For, like the Sangaru cactus, you're able to sustain your power over long periods of time. Time is your ally. Be patient. Let the wisdom of your ancestral lineage guide you onward. So we went a bit woo today, but come on, let's have the fun. So this is just a small little thing for you, and I'll put the link in the show notes, and I just wanted to share that with you. So just for you to get comfort in what's available to you, rather than thinking that you have to go outside of yourself. And these are the tools that have helped me in my business, managing my mind, connecting with my flowers, connecting with my community garden, and just keeping myself and my energy in a really positive, not super positive that you have to bypass, but just in an aligned, I would say. And this is alignment. The Highly Capable Creative program is about alignment. That's what my powerfully aligned system is not just we're working with mindset. We are focusing and using other tools such as aromatherapy or flower essences or teas to help you align with your purpose and just to help stabilize us. We use coffee every day to get through stuff, but let's use it to help us manage our mind as well. And with that, I hope you have an amazing week. Subscribe and rate this show and send me a message on how you found this podcast. This is Marilyn signing off. Bye for now. You want to be part of an incubator of some amazing creative women, then you need to join the Highly Capable Creative one-to-one program with me. To join, you can just contact me at www.mjfontaine.co.uk and book a sales call with me to join this amazing 6-month program where we get to work on your creative business. We also get to work clearing your blocks and also bringing that confidence up to 100 so you can stand in your agency and live your best life.